All right, everybody, welcome back to Defy Aging, and this is Coach Allison. We are in week 10 for this year, which means it's another mobility week. And coincidentally, it's also the start of a new month that we're going to be changing our warm up and our cool down for March and April. So, kind of a lot of big things happening this week. So, Mobility Week, what the workout's going to look like is 5 stations. We will be rotating around the turf. It's going to be 45 seconds on, 35 seconds off, and we're doing that for 4 rounds, and that's our mobility. There's not going to be a team builder this week because we've noticed over the years when we change our warm up and cool down, there's a little more tutorial demonstration time needed for those new movements. So that does take away a little bit of time. So we'll skip the team builder for this week. Yeah, so it's for the routine itself. It's just that one circuit. Let's get to some demonstrations. Okay, the first station for Mobility Week is a mini, this one has a tear in it, so that's gonna throw that away. Mini band scapular retraction. So we're working kind of the back, upper back, that shoulder blade area, scapula, trying to focus on how to move those muscles in that area. So we have a mini band. We're gonna put it around kind of the wrists, I guess would be the best here. So we just put a little bit of outward pressure tension. You don't have to stretch it a ton. So we just want to keep some tension. So see how this is normal, no tension. I'm just going to go out a little bit. Keep that there. And then a scapular retraction is similar to a back row. So I don't want anyone to accidentally kind of revert to a back row by pulling their elbows in. Arms do stay straight. And we I wish I had like a different zip up on. This is so bulky, this sweatshirt might be hard to see what's happening in my back. Retract the shoulders and then kind of go back to normal forward. Retract, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So all I'm doing is squeezing those shoulder blades together, and that's going to cause your arms to kind of go backward. But again, we're not bending the elbows. So I'm just going to do a couple of them so you can kind of see my back a little bit, a couple of them in a row. Keeping that tension on the band, pulling back, squeeze, release. Pulling back, squeeze, release. You might notice when you're pulling back, your hands might open up a little bit more. That's pretty normal. So that one is a super teeny tiny movement, and it's tempting to want to make it a bigger movement. So keep it small, keep squeezing those shoulders back, and that's station 1. All right, next exercise is a single leg over and back. This one we've done at some point in our past mobility week. So you can start with your feet together and then put the kettlebell on one side. FYI, for our single-sided things, since we do have 4 rounds, we don't have to worry about switching halfway through a set. We'll do 2 rounds on one side, 2 rounds on the other side. So just quick FYI there. So I'm going to lean back comfortably on my hands. I'm going to bend the opposite leg of the leg that's going to be doing the work, and that's just for a little added stability and support. Now the working side is going to go up and over this kettlebell. If your gyms have those small cones, you can use cones too. That's fine. But the key here is we're trying not to bend the knee. So watch my leg here. I'm keeping it as straight as I can. We're trying not to have it be like this, because really that takes out, it's still using your hip, but it takes a lot of the hip focus out and makes it more of just kind of like bending and extending from the knee, which we don't want to do. So keep the leg straight. I like to flex my foot. You can point your toe if you feel that's more comfortable. If you want a little more advanced, you can straighten out that other leg, and you'll feel it's actually more core work, and it is a little bit trickier. Okay, so we'll do, anyone staying off the floor, you're going to do a seated step over, which we've also done this in the past. Very similar concept. Sit on a bench or a box towards the front. Make sure this kettlebell is directly at the side of your foot, and we're going to step up and over. Up and over. So what I want you to try to avoid happening is having it go in front of the kettlebell. So do make sure you're going up and over. But anyway, that's our station 2, working those hips. Okay, now the next one is a Spider-Man with a rotation. This one's a little trickier. It's actually very similar. It's a variation of like the runner's stretch, which we do in our cool down quite a bit, if anyone remembers what that is from the name. So let me show you. It's very stretchy. Okay. So one foot is up in front, bent to 90 degrees at the knee. I'm going to take my other leg and just crawl it as far. I like to put the top of my foot down like this. I recommend that over this Okay, as far back as I can. So I feels like in here, it feels like I'm kind of doing the splits. Like that's because see how far back I crawled my foot? Where we don't get as much benefit out of it is if we keep this leg too bent and they're really just leaning down. But watch me again. I'm going to crawl that leg super far back. Okay, now the rotation is going to be with the inside. I should maybe face the front. The inside arm. What I mean by that is the arm that's between your foot and your other hand. So this hand is inside. Or you can say the hand closest to your foot, if that helps. And then what we do is kind of bring that arm to the outside of the leg. We rotate up, let your head follow your hand, and we come back down. I like to watch my hand here. You can go flat. I personally prefer to go up on my, like the balls of my finger, my hands. I don't know if that's a thing, like the ball of your foot, but like the pads, I'm more comfortable like this. It's a preference thing. Do what is best for you. Anyway, back to the rotation. Rotate up. Try to get straight up and down if you have the ability to do so. And again, always let your head follow the direction of that moving arm. There we go. So again, switching sides halfway between would be really cumbersome for this. So we're going to do all round one on one side, do the other side next time. So you do have to kind of remember what sides you're doing. I don't know if it would help seeing the other side. I'm just going to show you. Just get for demonstration purposes, to see both sides, opening up, letting my head follow my hand, and back. I guess you can bring your hand back to the inside if that works for you, or you can bring it to the outside, whatever works better for everybody. Everyone's body is so different. Now, if we're staying off the floor, we're going to do still a rotation. We're going to do what's called an A-frame instead of doing that runner stretch position with that Spider-Man. So an A-frame is kind of maybe the half of a squat. Okay, so it's not just this, but get those hips back a little. And then you kind of put your hands together like this. And we're going to still do that rotation on one side only. So the goal here is to keep your legs very still. We're not, watch me as I rotate up. I'm not like allowing something like this to happen. I'm going to keep this locked in knee and hip position, even when I'm rotating. And again, let your head follow your hand. So that's the A-frame if anyone is staying off of the floor. But that's station 3. That one is probably going to be our most challenging one. All right, next station is a lying one. We did this, I think, 2 or 3 mobilities ago. So, no, don't hit your head on kettlebells. It's the lying hip or pelvic protraction and retraction. I'm going to turn to the side, I guess. That might be best. So you bend your knees, feet flat on the floor, hands are just doing whatever it is. And you want to put your hands on your hips to kind of help feel what's happening. So we're going to, it's very, I'm trying to find a good comparison, but maybe there kind of isn't one. We're going to pop the hips back. And when you do that, your lower back arches more and your chest kind of comes up, but all the movement's really in the hip. And then I'm going to do the opposite. And I'm going to protract my hips. So it's kind of like you're squeezing your butt cheeks a little bit, almost like you're going to do a hip lift, but you don't lift off the floor, but a little bit of, see how a little bit of my butt kind of came off the floor here. And then that flattens your low back down. I know that was all very confusing. So you won't see much happening here, but I'm going to talk you through it. So I'm retracting my hips or my pelvis, and I'm protracting. And I'm retracting, so my lower back lifted up. I have all this space here, and I'm protracting. I can't get my hands under here because my back flattened down. So I don't know. I hope you could see a little bit of what was happening there. It does take some feeling out and some practice. Anyone staying off the floor, you do standing pelvic tilt. It's really the same thing. So we're going to protract the pelvis or the hips. So we kind of squeeze the butt in and thrust forward, and then retract. Okay, and so you kind of put that arch in your back. Protraction, retraction. The movement is all isolated to just this hip area. So we want to make sure we're not leaning like this. It's not, that's not what it is. Your torso stays still, and we protract and retract. So this is the exact same thing I was doing on the floor. It just might be harder to see it on the floor. This movement, super tiny movement, but it is hard to get down. And it's a great one to get down because when we do things like deadlifts, we have to retract our hips so that and keep them popped out. So it helps to work on that. It helps in other areas, and it's having that muscle and that body control. So a lot of core work too. That one might actually be the most challenging. I'm not sure. There's some challenging ones this round. Anyway, that's our protraction and retraction of the hips. Okay, next we have final one is shoulder mobility. This one is called the pinwheel. We've only done this one once in the past, and I think it was in 2024 when I looked back through our previous mobilities. So it's been a while. Yeah, arms are going to start straight out. Everything's happening behind me, so I am going to turn around, which seems weird to talk away from the camera, but arms start straight out. One arm, watch my palms. One arm is going to go like this. The other arm's going to go like this. But I want you to watch, it should just happen naturally, kind of, so don't overthink it. My arm that's going up, the hand is flat. The palm is flat on my back, or upper back, whatever. The hand that's going to the down position, my palm is facing out. See how one hand is palm in, one hand is palm out. That should just be natural, because doing palm in with this hand is super uncomfortable. And conversely, doing palm out with this hand doesn't even really work. So those wrists very subtly changing position should happen kind of smooth and automatically. So that said, watch, the pinwheel is just rotating between those two. Hold this for a moment. We go back wide and we switch sides. The mobility might be very different from side to side. You might notice I can get pretty close, my hands pretty close together on this side, but I actually can't get them nearly as close together on this side. And that just indicates different shoulder mobilities from left to right side. I don't know if it'll help anything from the front, but I'll quick do it. So you can see how it's kind of like a pinwheel, right? Again, don't overthink those hand positions. They should just fall right into place, especially because that top hand being palm out is like really uncomfortable. Palm in is comfortable. It's a great one for shoulders. Kind of fun. I think it feels kind of flowy and dancey, but anyway, that's our final station. And there you have it. That is it. So there's no team builder this week because we're going to spend a little extra time on that new cool down and warm up. I don't know why I said it in that order, which your coach will, of course, go over all those movements with you. So 45 seconds on, 35 seconds off for all of those stations we just went through for 4 rounds. Another mobility week. I hope you enjoy it.